One of my friends tried to hit on my boyfriend and I guess get him to cheat on me, so here's a story time, and this one's crazy. So last year, me and my boyfriend decided to go to this country bar, even though we never go out. It's just not really our scene, but we're like, let's go out. A lot of his friends were going, so we decided to go. After getting there, I was actually having a good time, and this girl that I had not seen in so long came up to me, and we used to be really close friends, but we kind of just fell off, and she's like, hey, how are you? Gives me a hug, and I introduced her to my boyfriend, and she's like, it's so nice to meet you. I thought that was all. Little did I know. I also forgot to mention before this, she had liked several of my Instagram posts with him and my Instagram stories, as well as my TikTok, so she knew we were dating, and she knew who he was, clearly. Well, like 20 minutes goes by and my boyfriend steps away to go to the bathroom, and I was just talking to another one of my friends, not thinking anything of it, but what he told me happened when he came back, I was like, what the heck? So I guess he walked to the bathroom and she walked straight up to him and goes, you are so sexy, by the way. Who says that to someone else's boyfriend? Of course, my boyfriend did not engage with her at all, like did not even talk to her. I don't know what she expected to happen, but he literally ran straight to me and told me, because that's just like the kind of person he is. He would never do anything. So I don't know what her intentions were, but clearly they weren't good. So of course I was upset. I never said anything, but it was very frustrating to say the least. And obviously after that, I just never talked to her again, because clearly she's not a very good friend if she's gonna go tell my boyfriend that he is so sexy. But yeah, that is a story time on one of my friends trying to get with my boyfriend. Bye.
How a senior boy at my school got expelled for bringing a 6th grader to homecoming. So back in my freshman year, I got invited to homecoming and I felt so cool. I was like, I'm gonna be the youngest girl there and I'm gonna feel so cool for it. And I have to say, I felt quite old when I saw an 11-year-old girl walk in the building with a grown man, an 18-year-old man. Of course, immediately, the whole building went silent. We were like, whoa there, that is a case. And we knew how old this girl was because her older brother was in the grade above me. So everyone just kind of looked around like, are we seeing the same thing? But everyone tried to go on as normal. Everyone was dancing like Cotton Eye Joe, everything. And then we hear a crash. And we see Mr. Senior Boy on the ground, crying. Because the 6th grade girl's older brother actually punched him in the face, like right there, right then, and I'm so proud of him for that. And the senior boy was trying to defend it. He was like, we're just friends, it's not that serious. You're not allowed to take middle schoolers to homecoming anyway. And after further investigations, he got expelled.
Story time for the man who tried to break into my hotel room. I was traveling for work, and as I took the elevator up to my room, I was in the elevator with a man probably in his early 40s, and I had a really bad gut feeling. My room was right across from the elevator, and turns out he saw me walking into my room. As I got in, I of course deadbolted the door and made sure that my door was securely locked, and then I called my boyfriend to say goodnight. As I was on FaceTime, I heard a bunch of knocking, and so he's like, go check the front door. I did. There was nobody there. We just came to the conclusion that it was somebody knocking at the end of the hall, and that everything was okay. So I said goodnight, and I went to the bathroom to take my makeup off. As I was in the bathroom taking my makeup off, I hear a scratching noise, and I turn around, and there's a small note under my door, under the adjoining door. I assumed that I had missed it when I walked in with my suitcase, or that a piece of paper fell from my backpack because I was traveling for work. So I keep taking my makeup off, and then next thing you know, I hear another scratching noise, and I turned over, and there was a full hand under my door, knuckle deep, man hand. Run back to my bed, put my back against the wall, and call the front desk. No answer, so I call the police and say, there is a man whose hands are under my door, there are notes under my door, and he is trying at the handle to try to get in. They let me know they're coming, so I call my mom, and as I'm on the phone with my mom, I take the video that I shared to TikTok. I do not have videos of the hand or the handle because I was trying to get help at that point, and so I only got the photos of the notes. The notes were saying, I could treat you better than your boyfriend can, please let me come over. Begging to come over, wanting to be with me. I called my coworkers, they came and they helped me pack up all my stuff and get me down to the lobby. As I was down there, the police came and they went up there and took care of him, and the hotel staff got me to a new room. I do not know what happened to him. What I do know is women, as solo travelers, it is a scary world out there. Please do what you can to be safe. 1, request a room that's not adjoining. 2, get the extra locks and alarm sounds so that you can make sure that your rooms are safe. And 3, be extra vigilant to see who watches you get to your room. I'm sorry that we have to deal with this, but we do, and I hope that you are safe.
I don't know what this behavior would be classified under, but one time I was out at a bar with this girl, and we were like kind of newly friends. And she was like, hey, I'm going to leave. I'm going to share my location with you so that you know I got home safe. I'm like, cool, okay, sounds good. So then she goes, you should share your location with me. And I was like, no, I don't share my location with people, but I'll be fine. And she goes, yeah, but it makes me feel better. I would feel better if you shared your location with me because you never text me when you get home safe or you forget. And I was like, I hear you, but I don't share my location with anyone. It's kind of a privacy thing for me. I had a stalker situation in the past. Like, I just don't share my location. Like, no one has my location. And she goes, yeah, but I have anxiety, and all of my friends share their location with me so I can always check where they are because I'm anxious. And I was like, yeah, but I don't share my location with anyone. Not the only person that has my location is my mom, and the rule is she can have my location, but she's not allowed to ask questions. And she said that I triggered her and I was a bad friend because I didn't care about her anxiety, and that I didn't care about her boundaries as a person. And for a second, I felt bad, but I was like, wait a second, you don't care about my boundaries as a person. What the fuck? So yeah, I don't know what that is, but she did a lot of weird shit like that.
Put a finger down if when you were 14 you had a week where you really weren't feeling that great but you didn't know what was going on. So you take your temperature every day and it only stayed at around 99 degrees. So you're like, okay, I guess it's not that bad. I'll just take some medicine and keep going about my business. And you did. The weekend comes around and it's your sister's 18th birthday. And since your temperature wasn't anything to be too worried about and you'd been taking medicine, your parents are like, yeah, we're still going to throw a birthday party, invite a bunch of girls over to spend the night. And they do. So you fall asleep in the basement with all the others and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, wow, I really don't feel good. I think I need to go get some help. But you don't. You fall back asleep and then you wake up a couple hours later and you're really like, okay, I'm starting to panic now. I think I'm actually going to pass away if I don't get help. So you force yourself to crawl up the stairs and go get help from your mom who's in the kitchen making breakfast for all of the others. You lean over the counter and you're like, Mom, I really don't feel good. Something is wrong. She puts a thermometer in your mouth and the next thing you know, you're being woken up off of the floor by everybody screaming and yelling. Your mom is absolutely freaking out because the thermometer that was in your mouth was at 104 degrees and it didn't even finish taking your temperature before it fell out of your mouth and then you started having a seizure on the floor. She yelled so loud that it woke up your dad, and your dad doesn't have his prosthetic leg on, so now he's hopping around trying to get a phone to call 911. Your mom is picking you up dead weight off of the floor, and this is when you start to become conscious again and you're telling your mom, you're okay, you just need to sit down. And she says, you're not fine, honey, as she slams your head into the side of her porcelain bathroom tub. And then they finally get a hold of a 911 operator, and the 911 operator starts yelling at them to get you out of the tub that she has now just put freezing water on you in, because apparently that can send you into shock and you can have another seizure. So then your mom is pulling you out of the tub, putting you on her bed while you're still fully clothed, soaking wet. Now your head hurts because it got slammed into the tub. The 911 operator shows up, or you know what I mean, the ambulance shows up, and it ends up being the parents of a girl that you did cheer with and went to school with. They tell you should probably go to the hospital, so you do, and the hospital tells you that your seizures were caused by your fever being so insanely high that your body couldn't take it, and that it's really only normal for babies and not 14-year-olds. And then while she's talking to you, she's like, you know, you really sound like you have a lot of allergies. I'm going to refer you to an allergist. And then you find out that you're actually allergic to every single thing on planet Earth except for the sun.